सर थोड़ा टाइम लेके स्टार्ट करना है या 5 मिनट रुक
नहीं
जाएंगे?
सर, आप स्टार्ट कर दीजिए, 2-4 मिनट में और लोग आ जाएंगे, कोई ऐसी दिक्कत नहीं है।
ठीक है सर, ओके ओके।
थैंक यू, थैंक यू एवरीवन टू जॉइन दिस। मैं मनीष अरोड़ा, काशी हिंदू विश्वविद्यालय में अध्यापक, और आज हमारे साथ गेस्ट स्पीकर है डॉक्टर प्रोफेसर यतीश जोशी फ्रॉम स्कूल ऑफ मैनेजमेंट स्टडीज, मोतीलाल नेहरू नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी, इलाहाबाद प्रयागराज से। और आज हम सब लोग मिल रहे हैं मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एजुकेशन इनोवेशन सेल, इंस्टीट्यूशन इनोवेशन काउंसिल, बनारस हिंदू यूनिवर्सिटी के क्वार्टर 3 और 4 के इवेंट के सिलसिले में, जो कि आज प्रोफेसर यतीश जोशी जी द्वारा दिया जा रहा है। और आज हम इस पूरे प्रयास में समझने का प्रयास करेंगे कि स्टार्टअप, एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप, इन सब चीजों की ओर बढ़ते हुए कैसे बिजनेस कैनवास मॉडल डेवलप किया जाता है और हम अपने बिजनेस को कैसे फॉर्मुलेट करके सही जगह पे ला पाते हैं, इसके बारे में कुछ चर्चा होगी। मैं सर का स्वागत करता हूं, सभी पार्टिसिपेंट्स का स्वागत करता हूं, और सर से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि सर अपना सेशन प्लीज शुरू करें। थैंक यू सर एंड वेलकम।
थैंक यू डॉक्टर मनीष सर फॉर द इनविटेशन। सो आपका आई थिंक म्यूट हो गया, ठीक है। Thank you so much, Manish sir, for the invitation. So I will be starting the session on business canvas model, and big congratulations to Manish sir for starting such a great initiative in BHU and taking care of the incubation and the innovation council. I hope I'm perfectly audible and the audiences are also there. So I'm
yes sir, you are audible.
Yes. So I'm sharing my screen, and then we will be starting the discussion on business canvas model, which is the topic of today. Yeah. So I hope my screen is visible, everyone.
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. So dear students, today we are going to discuss the topic business model canvas. So basically, whenever we have to start any business, any startup, we need a basic framework. We need a basic guidelines. So from where to start, from where to go, what are the key elements? What are the things that we have to take care of? While starting the things. Who are our key partners? What are our main value propositions? What will be the revenue model, how and from where we will get the competitors information. So a lot of things are there which are involved while designing any of the business model or any setting up any business. So business model canvas, as we know, the word canvas is like where we picturize something, where we put our thoughts, put our feelings, put the facts, put the information in a pictorial form, so that we can easily grab the things, we can easily have an idea of what are the challenges, what are the opportunities, and how we can build a business in a particular domain, right? Because starting a business, entering into a business is a very crucial things. The funds are invested there, and obviously the concern of any of the business is profitability. And nowadays it's like profitability with social responsibility, right? Because of this sustainability era, because of more and more focus on CSR, sustainability, and environmental rules and regulations, a business need not to be only profitable, but it should also abide all the rules, laws, and regulations of a particular country, right? So this is the entire framework, and so I will come to it. So this is the business model canvas. This is how it looks like, right? So you can see here, what we will do. We will draw we will discuss various elements, and then at the end, we will try to draw a business model canvas for any new startup, right? So the first element here is key partners. Then comes the key activities, key resources, value propositions, customer relationships, channels, customer segments, cost structure, and revenue streams. So we will discuss them one by one. But before that, the most important element while starting any business is what to do. कौन सा बिजनेस हम स्टार्ट करें, क्या चीज हम स्टार्ट करें कि कस्टमर को पसंद आए, लोगों को पसंद आए, लोग हमारा बिजनेस को हमारे प्रोडक्ट को लेना चाहे, हमारे आइडिया को बाय करें, हमारी सर्विस को लेना चाहे, राइट? सो दिस एंटायर थिंग्स कम्स अंडर टू प्रपोजिशंस. or two heads. One is, guys, please pay attention. The sequence can be different, but the most important element while starting any of the business or any of the startup is to look for this. The first thing is value propositions, and the second thing is customer segments, right? Now, first, let's talk about the value proposition. Now, what is value proposition? What is value, right? So, for example, uh, as we know that we have evolved a lot from the time of uh, industrial revolution, right? So, at that point of time, what used to happen at the time of industrial revolution, uh, there is already a demand for a lot of product, but there was very less manufacturer or suppliers for the product, है ना? घड़ी चाहिए, बनाने वाले कम है, तो आप कोई भी घड़ी बनाइए, बहुत अच्छी बनाइए, उतनी अच्छी ना भी बनाइए, बट वो बिकेगी, बिकॉज देयर इज ऑलरेडी अ डिमांड फॉर दैट. सप्लाई है नहीं, डिमांड ज्यादा है. तो इंडस्ट्रियल रिवोल्यूशन आया which says that we need to focus on the manufacturing. We need to try to keep the cost down, and we need try to produce the product as much as we can, right? So the industrial revolution comes which focus on the production, and the quality, and you can say the different kind of features or the parameters was not the primary concern. Why? Because there is already a demand for the product. द प्रोडक्ट वॉज नॉट अवेलेबल. लोगों के पास इसेंशियल आइटम्स नहीं है, लोगों के पास सप्लाई कम है, डिमांड ज्यादा है. So in that case, the focus was on to produce as much as you can, and the supply will be met, right? Now again, in today's context also, if a new technology comes in, right, something which is very new and which is essential also, so now in that case, what will be there? The company will focus more and more on the production side because the competition is less in that particular space. So for example, if you talk about, going to a space, or maybe buying a land, buying a piece of land on some another planet, maybe in future if it is started, and it might be controlled only by one or two parties, right? It can be like NASA, it can be like, Musk, it can be Elon Musk, or maybe some other agency. So there will be very few competitors, and maybe they have their own customer segment, maybe the super rich, ultra rich, right? Who have that sort of a capability and who want to experiment with that. So what will happen in that case? In that case, they just need to, they need to provide the supply, because the demand is already there, which is not fulfilled, right? Or maybe some unusual things comes up for which we already have a demand, right? Then in that case, you can simply come up with your value proposition, that you are simply providing that product, or you are simply providing that services. Okay. There is no issue of demand there, because demand is already there. उतने प्लेयर है ही नहीं, अभी 2 या 3 प्लेयर्स हैं, है ना? उन्हीं में जो आप जहां से आपको बुकिंग मिल जाए, वहां से आप लोग बुकिंग को लोगे और अंतरिक्ष में घूम के आएंगे. जो भी हमारा कस्टमर सेगमेंट है, एक निश सेगमेंट है, बहुत छोटा सेगमेंट है ना? Maybe ultra rich, super rich, super rich, right? Okay. So in that case, the production concept can still be there, or maybe some another new technology comes in where no, so many players are not there, right? Maybe some sort of maybe in future a new vaccine may come up which can prevent maybe all the diseases, or maybe let's say some of the deadly diseases for which we are still not able to uh, get something. So in that case, what will happen? In that case, this uh, there will be, you just need to provide the product, and there is already a demand, right? But this is not the case nowadays. Nowadays, if you talk about the usual products or services which are available, you need a mobile, you have so many brands, right? You have Samsung, you have Apple, you have Micromax, you have Lava, you have some other brands, so many Oppo, and so many other brands are available, right? So now what is value, and how we can fight in that particular competitive market, and how we can set our product there, right? So as we know, there is already a demand. I hope you guys might be aware of the concept of demand, right? Need, want, and demand. Let me just specify you. See, uh, need is something which we feel that we basic, you can say the basic satisfaction that we look for, right? For example, you may feel thirsty, you need something to drink. Okay. to get that satisfaction, to get out from that state of felt deprivation, right? You are hungry, you need something to eat. So this is known as the need, right? This is need, this is the requirement, right? You want to go outside, you need something to wear, right? You want to run, you need something in your foot so that it can prevent you from the the mud and the other stuff, right? So need is like a state of felt deprivation for which we need something which can satisfy that. Now then the second concept comes up, want. So need, want is something like which is some specific satisfier for that basic need. Now basic need is I am hungry. Now you can eat anything and your hunger will go, right?
मैं प्रशांत सर को फोन करने जा रहा हूँ.
Right. So it can be like you can have chapatis, you can have rice, or may have something else. This is it will satisfy your hunger. So it is like a need. When I'm talking about the want are the specific satisfier. Something specific I need to remove that necessity. So maybe I'm hungry but I need a burger. मैं तो सिर्फ बर्गर खाऊंगा, बर्गर के अलावा कुछ नहीं, है ना? या मैं सिर्फ छोला भटूरा खाऊंगा, या सिर्फ मैं चाट खाऊंगा, या दही जलेबी खाऊंगा. Then only satisfy my hunger. So this is known as the want. What is want? Want is the specific satisfier of that basic need. I need that specific product to satisfy my need, my necessity. So this is known as the want, right? Then we talk about the demand. The demand is the want, that means the specific satisfier, but that is also backed by the purchasing power. अब वो उसको खरीदने के लिए मेरे पास उतना परचेजिंग पावर भी मेरी होनी चाहिए, उतना पैसा होना चाहिए. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, सपोज मे बी if I want to buy, let's say if I want to buy a Porsche car costing rupees 1 crore, right? So for me, this is a want, but it is not a demand because it may not be backed by my purchasing power, है ना? But maybe for a businessman, it will be a demand because they need that specific car, Porsche, 1 crore wali, 2 crore wali, but they also have this pocket, they also have this money to spend for that, right? So that is known as the demand. Now, whenever a company look to create value, they look for this demand things, right? They look for, yes, the customer should look for that particular specific product, and they should also have the capability to pay for it. So we will target only these customers. So when you are talking about these customer segments, here I am talking about targeting the customers, or accordingly you have to decide the value proposition. So for example, if you want to come up with an ultra luxury fashion brand, right? Maybe let's talk about some of the most expensive brands in the world. आप जिमी चू के शूज की आप बात करो, which cost something around 1 lakh rupees per pair. So they are not targeting all the people, right? They know their customer segment कि हाँ ये हमारा customer segment है और इतने ही लोग हैं, और हमें बॉस मुंबई में या दिल्ली में कनॉट प्लेस में जाके शोरूम खोलना है, राइट? या मे बी कैपिटल सिटी में हमें जाके शोरूम खोलना है, बिकॉज वहां पर देयर आर टू थिंग्स, राइट? नॉट ओनली मनी बट विलिंगनेस टू बाय दैट प्रोडक्ट ऑल्सो. इट माइट बी पॉसिबल कि बनारस में या इलाहाबाद में भी सुपर रिच लोग हैं, बट वो लेना ही नहीं चाहते. वहां पर उस चीज की डिमांड ही नहीं है, उस चीज को अप्रिशिएट ही नहीं किया जाता, right? So maybe in some part of Haryana they might be having a lot of money, but they may not value it, right? They will say कि नहीं, we should not spend on that item. So the willingness, both the things should be there, willingness as well as the capability to pay for that particular product also, right? So if both the things are there, then we can say we can target these kind of a customers. So whenever a company is deciding the value proposition, now what is the problem? The problem is that there's a lot of competitors. बहुत सारी companies है market में आज की date में, है ना? XYZ, you talk about any product and you have the company. You talk about mobile, you have at least 15 to 20 companies which are operating into the space. You talk about car, you have around 10 to 15 companies which are operating in the country, or maybe more than that. If you count the new companies also. So how you will create the value proposition? What will be your value proposition? So what is the value proposition here? Value proposition basically talks about, and here we always keep in mind the kind of a customer that we are targeting. So here, if you look at this customer segment, we always keep in mind the kind of a customer we are targeting. So for example, the kind of a customer the iPhone might be targeting, or the Apple might be targeting, may be different than the kind of a customers maybe the Xiaomi might be targeting, right? For example, the Apple might be targeting the customers who look for who are more for the the safety of data and all these things, because the Apple is known for that, as well as they need to have this capacity to pay at least the minimum amount for their lowest model, which can be nowadays it can be around 35 to 40,000 rupees if you talk about their lowest model in the country, right? Whereas in the case of Xiaomi, it can be like different value propositions for the different kind of customers. Maybe for their low-end phone, maybe those who are looking for a budget phone with multiple utilities or with basic smart functions, you can go with that, right? So now, guys, give me a minute. Just yeah. Okay. So now, if you see the case of Apple, or maybe let's talk about the iPhone, right? Now, see, iPhone started in 2007, right? The first iPhone started in 2007. The company launched the first iPhone in 2007. So, what was the value proposition for that particular mobile phone? At that point of time, there were two types of phone, guys. On one side, we have the smartphone, which is like and on one side we have the normal phone, right? So the normal phones which we have, from which we can do the message or we can simply call, whereas the smartphone are the phones through those who have the email capability as well as the internet capability. That means you can surf the net as well as you can drop the email and do some other functions. So there are two kinds of a phone, right? One is basic phone, which is like message and calling on maybe some subsidy wala game or something, but it is very easy to use. It is very handy. You can simply use it. You can simply call anyone, right? Whereas on the other hand, we have Siemens and some other high-end phones, BlackBerry and something, which are like they are having the quad-tree keyboard, or which are very difficult to operate. है ना? They are smartphone. You can do the internet, but वो उतने easy नहीं थे use करने में. उनको काफी थोड़ा complicated था. So when in 2007 when the Apple came, they come up with something which is easy to use as well as the smartphone. यानी they come up with this touch screen concept कि आपको कोई पेन नहीं लगाना उसमें टच करने के लिए. आप you can use your fingers, you can touch it, right? You can do all the internet things, as well as it is easy to use also, not that complicated like the other phones, right? So what happens with that? The market changes. Maybe if you have time, maybe by tonight or maybe tomorrow, you can look up a video on YouTube, that Steve Jobs launch of iPhone. Then you can see that how he was fitting the iPhone proposition on the positioning map. So whenever we talk about the value proposition, it is the set of benefits which the company is offering to the customers, and they are defining it in the form of some form of the statements, right? So we will discuss about value propositions in detail, and then you will see how we can come up with different kind of value propositions, and we can look for this, right? So this is value propositions if we have to define, and this is the most important part for this business model canvas, because if you have chosen the wrong value, right? Wrong value means you want to compete with, you are a new startup, you do not have funding, and you straight away want to compete with the maybe the topmost player in your segment, who have a lot of money, who have a lot of resources, or you are targeting the value proposition in which there is already a lot of customers. So there will be difficult for you to enter into that segment and to build your business, right? So a value proposition is a promise of value stated by a company that summarize how the benefit of the company's product or service will be delivered, experienced, and acquired, right? So that means the bundle of benefits, lot of benefits that we are offering, right? For example, you go and you buy a Hyundai car, and they will be like, sir, we are offering these benefits to you, or any car, let's say. It will be like you will get road assistance 3 years free. You will be getting insurance 3 years. You will be getting on-site assistance. You will be getting Hyundai mobility services. You will be getting maybe, let's say, the connected car features, right? You can go to any showroom, you will be getting Hyundai genuine accessories, you will be getting monthly benefits, you will be able to participate in a, a different kind of a contest, different kind of a features, different kind of a functions, right? So value proposition is the bundle of benefits which the company is offering to the customers, right? And this is somewhere it is like the written statement. So it basically specify what make the company product or service attractive, why a consumer should buy a company's product or services, right? And how it is different than that of the competitors. So for example, if you see in Indian automobile market, because you are a young crowd, like you all are the students, so you might be following the automobile, or maybe let's say the telecommunication or the gadget markets. So you may have seen in the automobile industry also there are different kind of value proposition. One company, they target about the features, that we come up with a different kind of a features which are segment first. Like let's talk about Kia Motors, right? Look at the Indian market, guys. Look at the Indian market. The Indian automobile market is like completely saturated, right? Where on the one side we have the old players such as Maruti and Hyundai, which are leading the market. On the other side, we have many other players who are in this market since last 15 or 20 years, or maybe more than 10 years, but still they are not able to grab good share of market. You talk about the companies like we have Nissan, we have Renault, we have Volkswagen. They all are there since ages, but still they are not able to acquire the market, or they are able to increase their market share. Even if you talk about the companies such as Honda, which is they have come up with their legendary products such as Honda City, and their Honda City, new Honda City and Amaze is also doing quite good. But still, if you look at their balance sheet, just Google it, you will see in the last 3 years they have they have claimed that they have faces losses, right, rather than the profit. So and some of the companies such as Hindustan Motors, Chevrolet brand, that they left General Motors, sorry, they left the country a few years back, and recently we also heard that the Ford has also left the Indian market, right? Now in this in this market where pre-existing players are not able to compete, how a new player such as Kia was able to come up and grab the market? What was their value proposition which was different than the competitors? Have they played on the mileage part? नो, माइलेज पे नहीं खेला उन्होंने। उन्होंने ये नहीं बोला कि हमारा प्रोडक्ट का माइलेज हम सबसे अच्छा दे रहे हैं। उन्हें ये भी नहीं बोला कि हमारे प्रोडक्ट की बिल्ड क्वालिटी सबसे ज्यादा अच्छी है। तो व्हाट वाज देयर वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन? देयर वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन वाज more for the same. More for the same means we are providing you more value, more features, more functions at the same price. In 2017, the company come up, the first product they launched, which was the Seltos, which was a big hit. Then they come up with Sonate, then they have recently come up with Carens, and they are doing wonderfully good in the Indian market, which is somewhere sorted. Why? Because their value proposition was features more for the same. We are providing more value or more features at the same price. Segment first features that we are providing. Similarly, if you talk about the MG Motors, right? You may have seen a lot of MG Hector and MG Aster on the road. Why the company is able to do good in that market where Volkswagen or where Nissan, they all are struggling to grab a good market share? What can be the reason? Because they come up with, we are providing the same for the less. Now look at the difference, right? Kia is like more for the same, यानी कि we are providing, हम आपको ज्यादा दे रहे हैं same price, so we are providing you the more feature at the same price. On the second hand side, MG said we are providing you same for the less. हम आपको वही फीचर दे रहे हैं जो आपको बाकी गाड़ी 12 या 13 लाख में दे रही है, बट हम उसको 11 लाख का दे रहे हैं। या हमारे बेस मॉडल में ही वो फीचर है जो बाकियों के मिड मॉडल में, जो कि 2-3 लाख रुपया आपको हम बचा के दे रहे हैं, right? Yes or no? So this is your value proposition. On the other side, one of the company which is known in India, which is a segment leading in India, known for mileage, they have their own value propositions: good service network, wonderful services, easy availability of parts, right? Good mileage. So they are playing on that. And then we have another segment of companies like our own Indian brands. and now they are coming up with a wonderful products with a very good build quality, and their value proposition is like, the strong car, good car, strongly built car with a good build quality car, NCAP 5-star or 4-star rated cars, right? So their value proposition is different. They are also not fighting on the mileage or maybe the easy availability of part on the service network. Yes or no? So these are the value propositions of the company, which is different for the different. Then we have, brands such as Hyundai, which talks about technology, which talks about mobility, which talks about new kinds of techniques, and even and their products are selling like anything. If you maybe as you are interested in entrepreneurship and business, maybe you guys are following the facts and figures, and if you see last few years sale, some of their products like Creta, Venue, they are usually on demand. And they are the only company which is giving a good fight to Maruti in India, Suzuki in India, right? So now value proposition is a promise of value which is stated by a company, which summarize how the benefit of the company product or service will be delivered, experienced, and acquired. And now we have to understand one thing, that is, it should be, one thing is like, it should differentiate the company's product from those of the competitors. आपको different mind में आना चाहिए when you think about a particular product. So for example, if we talk about let's say McDonald's, a different kind of a positioning may come up. Okay, easy to eat, convenient, okay price. Maybe if I talk about Domino's or something, maybe we'll say okay 30 minutes delivery or something. So their value propositions, that means the claim, the statement that they are making. तो value propositions है क्या? वो सारे claim, statement, writing में जो कि कंपनी बोल रही है आपको कि हम ये चीज आपको दे रहे हैं, इस मामले में हमारी कंपनी नंबर 1 है, या हम ये चीज आपको प्रोवाइड करा रहे हैं, right? So that is the proposition that the company is providing to the customers. So now how we design value propositions? Now value propositions are like, they are the bundle of benefits, and they are like, they consist of lot of different kind of a value 1, value 2, value 3, value 4. यानी कि benefit 1, benefit 2, benefit 3, benefit 4, and all the benefits then combined, then it become the value propositions, right? So first, when we are talking about the product, if you look at the diagram, you will see here we are talking about the benefits. What your product do? क्या करता है आपका product? कैसे हम value proposition अलग करें? भाई सर दर्द की दवाई तो बहुत सारी है ना. There's a lot of medicines which are there for the headache. How discipline is different than others? What is their value proposition? क्या है discipline का value proposition? If any one of you can tell me. Fast action, right? बहुत सारी medicines है, but discipline बोलता है कि नहीं, हमारा काफी fast action करता है. If you talk about a lot of pain relieving medicines or pain relieving spray or gel, now how they are fighting? All are pain relieving gels, all are pain relieving spray, but how they are differentiating themselves? That our effect is faster. 5 मिनट में आपको आराम मिलेगा, है ना? It will not take 10 minutes or 15 minutes. So the kind of a benefit that the company is providing, this is the first thing. So first thing is, when we are talking about the guys, please pay attention, because value proposition is something, if we can design it well, half of our job is done. अगर हमारा आइडिया अच्छा है, हम जो बेनिफिट कस्टमर को दे रहे हैं वो कस्टमर को समझ में आ रहा है और कस्टमर को लग रहा है कि ठीक है, तो वो प्रोडक्ट हमारा निकलने के चांस अच्छे हैं. सो द फर्स्ट थिंग इज बेनिफिट्स, दैट इज व्हाट आवर प्रोडक्ट्स डू. क्या हमारा प्रोडक्ट करता है, व्हाट आवर सर्विसेज डू, and the kind of a benefit that we are providing, is it already offered by some of the competitors in the product, which is there in most of the cases. बहुत ज्यादा नया आप इनोवेशन नहीं कर पाओगे, right? So maybe you can look for the gap, but what we are exactly doing. Then the second thing is features. How does our product work? What are the different kind of features that we are providing? One thing is benefit, one thing is features, right? Then what does it feel like to use your product? How the customer will feel when we are using our product? Now I will give you another example of Scorpio, right? Mahindra. See, I'm using all these examples because I'm dealing with a very young crowd, and I believe that you have this awareness about the cars, automobiles, maybe the electronic gadgets, on other tech companies. So most of the examples will be centered around that. Okay. So experience is like, how does it feel like to use your product? So I don't know whether you will recall or not, but if you look at the history of Mahindra Scorpio, right? Before Mahindra, before Scorpio, the Mahindra is known for their rugged Jeep, right? Even if you go to hill station nowadays, आपको वो जीप मिल जाएंगी वहां पर महिंद्रा की, है ना? पीछे से इस तरह से लोग बैठते हैं और पहाड़ों में पावरफुल व्हीकल, राइट? Mahindra, you can say is this Scorpio is, you can say, is the one of the first vehicle which has set up SUV market in India, and a comfortable and luxury SUV. So its advertisement are like that. अगर उनका जो पेपर में एडवर्टीजमेंट होता था, which talks about the benefit of the product. That means ये फीचर्स हैं, ये इसका इतना इंजन है, ये इसके स्पेसिफिकेशंस हैं, and their commercials, TV commercials used to make us feel that how we will feel when we will drive that vehicle. यानी कि जब हम उसको चलाएंगे तो हमें कैसा फील होगा? We will feel like a king, right? ऊपर हेलीकॉप्टर उड़ रहा है, नीचे स्कॉर्पियो चल रही है ना? आप ब्लैक कपड़ों में आप स्कॉर्पियो से बाहर निकलते हैं, and the world recognize you and world see you like you are something, right? And nowadays in their new advertisement they are saying that big SUV has come up, right? That means maybe they are talking about the size, or maybe they are talking about the road presence or something. So experience is something which we connect with, that okay, how we will feel when we will use it, right? So benefit, features and experience. Now look at the Maruti again, car company. Maruti rules the Indian market. You guys also know this thing, right? Around 50% or sometimes more than 50% of market share is acquired by Maruti only in India in the passenger car segment. Somewhere in 2015 and 16, they realized that ठीक है, हमने अच्छा प्रोडक्ट दिया, अच्छा माइलेज दिया, सब कुछ हमने बेटर दिया, बट वी नीड टू प्रोवाइड अ गुड एक्सपीरियंस टू द कस्टमर. कस्टमर को अच्छा लगना चाहिए हमारे शोरूम में आके. ये ना हो कि सर्विस कराने आए या खरीदने आए और आप बैठे हुए हैं चेयर्स में, पंखा भी उसमें ढीला ढीला चल रहा है, कहीं पे नहीं चल रहा है, आपको पसीना आ रहा है, आपको अच्छा नहीं लग रहा खरीदने में बहुत ज्यादा टाइम लग रहा है, राइट? सो दैट एक्सपीरियंस पार्ट शुड also not miss out. So keeping in mind, they come up with two different kind of a verticals, right? One is in which they started selling their a little bit of premium cars, S-Cross, Baleno, and so on, and they give it as a Maruti Nexa, है ना? Maruti Nexa is like if and then the second part is Maruti Arena. Arena is also good, where also you can go and you can sit properly, and so the entire idea is to provide better experience to the customers. But Nexa is like you will see a good interior, maybe something like a hotel or something where you can easily sit. They will order some tea and coffee for you also, even if you are going to go for some sort of an inquiry or some sort of a the assistance or something. So the entire idea is to provide the experience, how the customer will feel. Feeling part is there, क्योंकि आज की डेट में क्या है, आप कोई भी प्रोडक्ट लेते हो सिर्फ उसके बेनिफिट के नहीं लेते, आप एक्सपीरियंस के लिए भी लेते हैं, है ना? These are the emotional benefits also, right? कि okay, if I buy this product, how the society will see me, how my friends will look at me, how my customers or the other people will look at me, right? So sometimes this experience part is also there. So whenever we are talking about the value proposition, अब आपने नया प्रोडक्ट बनाया, ठीक है, आपने बोला जी मैं आई वाज टॉकिंग टू अ स्टार्टअप एंड बेसिकली उनके लिए हम इन्वेस्टर्स ढूंढ रहे थे. He is a good friend, old good friend. He was earlier actor in Mumbai also. So now they have come up with their own brand, which is like which is a herbal mosquito repellent, right? Jobmos के नाम से. And then we are talking to it, okay, how the entire idea is, okay, the benefits क्या है herbal mosquito repellent का? Maybe because it is a herbal, so maybe जो लोगों के दिमाग में एक चीज होता है कि मे बी अगर हर्बल नहीं है तो हमें नुकसान थोड़ा बहुत पहुंच सकता है. हालांकि साइंटिफिकली इट हैज बीन प्रूव कि मॉस्किटो रिपेलेंट से नुकसान नहीं होता है ह्यूमंस को उस लेवल पे बहुत सिग्निफिकेंट, या बिल्कुल नहीं है, वो एग्जैक्टली मैं अभी अवेयर नहीं हूँ, वो एक बार देखना पड़ेगा. बट हर्बल इज लाइक कि ठीक है, हाँ हर्बल है तो मतलब वी आर लाइक कि ओके इट्स फाइन, वी कैन. सो बेनिफिट्स लाइक हर्बल plus it do its job, and how the customer will experience this product. So experience में क्या है? Okay, then they at the product designing concept, they come up with like, okay, we have to make it the order or the scent should be good also, so that दे शुड फील गुड. रूम फ्रेशनर की तरह भी उसको काम करना चाहिए. उसका जो सेंट है वो अच्छा होना चाहिए, है ना. इट्स फील गुड. और अच्छे में भी ये नहीं कि आप उसमें वो फ्रेगनेंस डाल सकते हो जो कि हर्बल से मिसमैच करे. सो वो हर्बल भी लगना चाहिए. और बिकॉज प्रोडक्ट हर्बल है, सेंट अगर आप आर्टिफिशियल डाल दोगे तो फिर प्रोडक्ट मिसमैच हो जाएगा, राइट. सो द एंटायर आइडिया इज टू बेनिफिट्स, फीचर्स as well as the experience. And then we have to put ourselves in the customer's shoes, that how the customer will look at it. Okay, so now what are the emotional drivers of purchasing? है ना, इमोशनल ड्राइवर्स क्या है परचेजिंग में. फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ यू टॉक अबाउट द कार इन इंडिया, व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट द कार, तो व्हाट आर द इमोशनल ड्राइवर्स ऑफ परचेजिंग अ कार? A car in India can be a sign of utility. Somewhere it can be a sign of because it's a big thing in uh, many of the families, right. It can be a sign of a status symbol also, right. So the emotional, some people are fascinated about their their childhood memories of driving a car and feeling good about it. So what are the emotional drivers of purchasing, and how we can look for it? So maybe if someone is looking for the status or multi-purpose use, or maybe go with the trend, right. For example, if you see right now, the trend is of SUVs rather than sedan. You know, 20 years back or 10 years back, there was a trend of you can say sedan cars. Like middle class people used to dream of buying Honda City or Hyundai Verna someday. Nowadays, the trend has a little bit shifted. More and more people are looking to buy SUVs. Even though they do not need it, even though their use is only they use it only in cities or occasionally outside, even though the condition of road might have been improved, right. But still, we want to go with the society. We want to, there is a lot of reservation in most of the people to go against the society or to go against the trend. So most of us follow the trend. So we have to look for all the emotional drivers of from where it is coming, right. How to buy a product. प्रोडक्ट सिर्फ जरूरत के लिए नहीं खरीदते ना, बहुत सारी चीजें हम खरीदते हैं, राइट. तभी तभी इतने सारे आर्टिफिशियल प्रोडक्ट बिकते हैं. मे बी आपको शूज लेना है, आप you look for the in front of railway station in Varanasi or Lucknow or anywhere any of the city, you will see there is a lot of street hawkers who might be selling shoe. अब उसमें बड़े बड़े ब्रांड्स के नाम लिखे होते हैं, है ना. लोग लेते हैं और हाँ देखते कि हाँ लोगो वैसा ही दिख रहा है ना, ओरिजिनल जैसा. So why people are so obsessed about it? Because of these emotional drivers. Okay, people will feel कि okay, I have bought this particular brand, right. So the emotional drivers, we talk about the utility, we talk about the brand positioning, we talk about the status, we talk about a lot of things. So whenever we are designing our proposition, we also have to feel it like how the customer will feel about this particular product. Are they feel happy about buying it, or if they are status conscious, how they will feel by buying our products. What are the hidden needs? Hidden needs क्या है, जरूरत क्या है ना. You it can be anything, right. For example, people maybe uh, you might be in an urban city. Your circle is like a upper class people, those who, or maybe you might be doing business, or your investors are of that particular category. So maybe if you use a particular brand of products, they will trust you more, right. For example, I have seen it personally, that if you are using a particular brand of a computer, they feel their information is protected, right. They feel okay because see the entrepreneur is using that kind of a particular brand of a laptop. Maybe their information is more protected there, so maybe we can invest in that particular company. So there is a lot of things that we need to figure it out, the hidden needs also, what the customers are really looking for. मुझे है ना, मुझे वॉच लेनी है, सपोज फॉर एग्जांपल I have this watch, maybe a particular brand. Now, what can be the reason? Time to I can see in the mobile phone also, right? So why I'm wearing the watch? What is the need? The mobile phone is a, you can say, the must nowadays. We have a lot of official groups in WhatsApp also, so I cannot leave it at my home and come to my office. Maybe I will not bring it to my classroom because of the disturbance, but again I have to keep it because of the lot of official channels also. And I, I can no longer ignore it, especially after COVID, because a lot of communication happens digitally now, right. or maybe because I can access the email also and the other stuff also. So there's a lot of hidden needs also that we also have to specify, or we also have to look at whenever we are deciding these features and these benefits which we are communicating to the customers, and which can arouse their emotions and so on, right? And what are the drivers of purchasing? What are the rational drivers of purchasing? Now, one thing is like the hidden needs, one thing is like emotional drivers, one are rational drivers. जब इंसान दिमाग लगा के सोचता है कि ये प्रोडक्ट क्यों लेना है, क्या इसका बेनिफिट होगा, है ना? And then we have every type of customers, right? For example, if you look at some of the brand, when they plan the product or when they come up with a product for the urban market, it is like very sleeky, very good in design and something. And sometimes if the same brand might be planning it for the rural market, they may come up with a heavy product, right? And you might be wondering why it is so. Why heavy for the rural market? Why so sleek for the urban market? What can be the reason? The reason can be because it might be possible in some of the rural areas, they check the quality by the weight. हाँ, weight है, भारी है product, बड़ा अच्छा मोबाइल है, अच्छा भारी भारी मोबाइल है, मे बी अच्छा होगा, we can, you can buy it. भारी shoes है, proper strength, right? So how the people judge it, right? And what are the multiple uses that we can get from that particular product? So accordingly, now again, your customer segment is very much important. किसको आप टारगेट कर रहे हैं? कौन आपका customer segment है? Are you targeting the urban consumers? Are you targeting the rural consumers or the semi-urban consumers? Are you targeting the middle class people, or are you talking the well-to-do middle class people, or maybe the richer class, or maybe the students, or maybe the old age people, or maybe the kids, maybe the normal looking guys, or maybe some other specific category that you are looking for, right? So the rational drivers, rationally जब इंसान सोचे और इमोशनली सोचे, दोनों तरह से आदमी कोई भी प्रोडक्ट को लेने से पहले सोचता है, तो वी हैव टू फिगर इट आउट. एंड व्हाई डू पीपल करंट व्हाट डू पीपल करंटली डू इंस्टेड? अगर हमारा प्रोडक्ट नहीं लेंगे तो क्या लेते हैं, है ना? अगर वो हर्बल वो अगर आपका मॉस्किटो रिपेलेंट नहीं बाय कर रहे, तो व्हाट दे आर बाइंग? And how our product will fare in comparison to these top class products which are in the market since last 10 years or 15 years. They have developed a very good market for them, right? So this is what we have to look for. So value proposition up. Now again you will be feeling how we can come up with a value proposition, how we can create. So there are simple steps. First we need to understand, to know your customers. Here we know our segment, किसको हम target कर रहे हैं, किस कस्टमर को हमें अपना प्रोडक्ट बेचना है. Who is he or she? What does he do and need, right? What they are really looking for? In old times Hyundai come up with Hyundai Accent Executive. Now why executive word they have used? Maybe it can be used by the executives, those who are going to the office, right? People, right? Why? So we need to understand our exact customers, or the type of customers that we are targeting. Are we targeting the product to anyone, or we are targeting a specific people, right? Or people with a specific need? What problems does she need or he need to solve? What kind of a requirement that will come up? What improvement does he or she looks for? What does he or she value? For example, in this in last 2 years we all have faced a very difficult time, right? And education was also majorly online. So in that case, we have seen a lot of people have buy a lot of different kind of a tablet and the laptops and other things. So many companies has come up with a different kind of a tab, keeping the requirement. That means the price is low, maybe somewhere around 15 to 20,000, and they are providing a pen also, so that you can write down the notes. Maybe the media capabilities are less, but the writing and other capabilities are more, so that you can use it, right? So we need to know our customers perfectly. If you are targeting a rural market, and if you do not understand how they buy the product, maybe you use some YouTube influencers to sell your product into the rural market. Maybe it may work, maybe it may not work. Maybe it is better if you can go and if you can talk to the sarpanch there, take them into the confidence, right? Or maybe the people, those who live inside the villages, right? We all are from the villages, or maybe the people from the villages who have already in the cities, you can try to influence through them. So there's a lot of things that can be done, but then we have to understand our market, right? And for that we have to do the market research. We need to know, we need to understand कि हम जिनको बेच रहे हैं वो लेंगे या नहीं. अब मैं आपको एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल देता हूँ, and then you will be see that how the products may get failed in the market also, right? And this is a wonderful case study of a top company. So these are top company who sell the razor worldwide, right? दुनिया भर में वो अपने razor बेचते हैं, man razors. Okay, so when they started or they plan to come to India, they were like, okay, what kind of a razor we need to come up with, right? So they thought, okay, rather than going inside the villages, inside the rural areas, and asking from the people, it's better to test it on the Indians, those who are living in the Europe, right? So what they did, they tested on the, they come up with a model. They designed a razor especially for India, and they tested it on Indian people, those who are living in Europe, right? And the NRIs, those who are living in the Europe, they give a huge thumbs up that the razor is wonderfully good. It will definitely do good in the Indian market. And the company also thought, okay, now we have already tested it on the Indian people, and India is such a diverse and a wonderful country, and maybe we can go and sell our product there. It's a huge market potential, right? In terms of human resource or human capital, we are like we have a good manpower. We are strong in that particular thing. Okay, so they try to sell it, but complete failure. The product did not sell as per their expectations. Company faces losses, and then they were like, "What we did wrong? We have done our research. We have tested it on the Indian consumers, those who are living in the Europe. Okay, they might be living in the Europe, but their origin is India. They have spent their childhood in India, or maybe they come for the education or work. So what can be there? So but then they decided, okay, leaving Indian market is not a good idea because it's such a big market, right? It's a very profitable market. So okay, do your own market research and try to know your customers, right? The first thing. So then what they did, they travel inside the India, urban places, suburban places, rural places, and then they got to know. अब उन्होंने दो चार चीजें देखी वहां पे, है ना? पहला उन्होंने ये नोटिस किया कि कुछ लोग सुबह के 5 बजे छत पे चढ़ के सेविंग कर रहे हैं अंधेरे में बिना शीशा देखे हुए, राइट? सेकंड थिंग दे हैव नोटेड कि जो आपका नॉर्मली टैप वाटर कम लोग यूज करते हैं, टैप अभी कम जगहों पर है. व्हाट द पीपल नॉर्मली डू, एक बॉल में, एक कटोरे में या फिर एक मग्गे में थोड़ा सा पानी लेके वो उसमें रेजर करते हैं, उसको साफ करने के लिए वो उससे स्टिर कर लेते हैं, राइट? सो दैट इज द सेकंड थिंग व्हिच दे हैव नोटेड. नाउ then few other things they have noted also, that it's like less people shave daily, है ना? कम लोग डेली शेविंग करते हैं, मे बी twice in a week or thrice in a week, that is there. So keeping in mind all these things, they come up with a conclusion that where did they went wrong. Their product which they have designed was not especially, it was designed for the tap water, ना? पानी खुला हो, उसके नीचे आपने अपना शेविंग रेजर लगाया, तो अगर थोड़ा बहुत if some hairs are stick there, it will be clean. But it is not in the case of when you are using a bowl of water or something, right? So accordingly, and then what they have done again to come to India, they have reduced the price of their product. They have launched, they kept the product which they are selling internationally also, but then they come up with their product which is like 10 rupees. Now it is 20 rupees. Some guard, name is guard. The brand name is guard, right? Company name and then the guard. You can maybe connect the dots, right? And then so the idea is you can use it in tap water or maybe in a water in a bowl or something. Tap water is not necessary. The name is guard. That means it will protect you. Even if you're not using the mirror, it will not cut unnecessarily, right? वो गार्ड का मतलब ही है कि वो बचाएगा आपको, वो नहीं करेगा. Third, then they organize a event in 2010, which was like a Guinness Book of World Record, where the so-called celebrities of, I mean, the celebrities of at that time, which was very popular, has been called to promote the event. So the campaign was focused on, shaving, right? Shave India something. So with that, the brand become popular because now they started knowing their customer. Similarly, one of the company which came in somewhere in late 90s. So it is like nowadays you might be eating a lot of cornflakes, right? खाते हैं ना ब्रेकफास्ट में, इवनिंग में, या कभी कभी आप लोग लेते होंगे, कभी मे भी शायद आपने खाया हो. But now it is there in it is sold in good proportion. So now when initially the company came, they started like we are coming up with a breakfast which is good, and the breakfast which normally we take is more heavy, uh, and it is not good, right? For example, if we might be taking some heavy breakfast in our various parts of our country, because we used to do it, and that is our requirement, because most of us go to the farms to do the labor and the hard work, or in some of the areas, people used to go for eat in the morning around 9 o'clock, and then they eat in the evening 5 or 6 o'clock, right? In the daytime they are in their farms, they are in their field doing some work, right? So now with this situation, when they come up with this proposition, people did not like it, because you cannot change a habit in a day, right? So slowly and slightly, then they rope in some of the television actress, and then they started targeting it for the kids. You can have a very light breakfast initially, and then maybe you can go for a heavier breakfast later on, right? So with that, it become popular slowly and slightly. So means to say, knowing your customer is important. If you do not know your customers, you simply launch your product, right? Then the product may not match up with the market, right? There is a word which is very much famous whenever we talk about marketing, or this is known as marketing myopia. तो what is marketing myopia? कि जब आपको लगता है कि आपने बहुत अच्छा गैप ढूंढ लिया है, आपने बहुत अच्छी कस्टमर की रिक्वायरमेंट ढूंढ ली है, आपको बहुत अच्छा प्रोडक्ट बनाना आता है ना, आपको बहुत अच्छी पैकेजिंग करनी आती है, और आप उस प्रोडक्ट की पैकेजिंग करने में, उसको बनाने में इतना खो जाते हैं कि आप ये भूल जाते हैं कि यार ये जो प्रोडक्ट है, इसकी वाकई में डिमांड है या नहीं है मार्केट में. क्या ये प्रोडक्ट वाकई में कस्टमर्स को चाहिए? क्या मैं उनकी जरूरत के हिसाब से बना रहा हूँ? आपने बहुत अच्छा प्रोडक्ट बनाया है, बट कस्टमर्स को अगर नहीं समझ में आ रहा है तो वो नहीं चलेगा, राइट? बिकॉज अल्टीमेटली तो कस्टमर्स को बिजनेस है ना, ये तो बिजनेस है, बिजनेस का मीन्स है प्रॉफिट. तभी तो बिजनेस सस्टेन होगा, और प्रॉफिट के साथ आपको सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबल भी रहना है, आपको सस्टेनेबल भी रहना है, आपको इन्वायरमेंट को भी हेल्प करना है, असिस्ट करना है. सो नो योर कस्टमर्स इज द नंबर वन थिंग, एंड देन नो योर प्रोडक्ट, सर्विस और आइडिया. अपने प्रोडक्ट को भी आपको जानना जरूरी है कि हाउ योर प्रोडक्ट इज सॉल्विंग द प्रॉब्लम ऑफ द कस्टमर्स. Does it really solving the problem, or it's simply like the other products, or what kind of a value or result it will offer to the customers? And then you also need to know your competitors. कौन कौन से आपके competitors हैं? उसके लिए हमारे पास USP एनालिसिस होता है, यूनिक सेलिंग प्रोपोजिशन. क्या आपका यूनिक सेलिंग प्रोपोजिशन होगा? क्या नया चीज आप कर रहे हो, या क्या आपकी कोर कॉम्पिटेंस है? What is your core competence? Can you really fight with some of the big businessmen who can who can really capture the market? If you talk about some of the company, wherever they enter, within 2 or 3 years they become number one, number two, or number three, top 3 में आ जाते हैं वो लोग, because they have so much of capital, right? They can control the market, they can put the price down. Then what you will do at the point of time? Can you survive? Or do you have the people or the partners who can support you? So you need to understand your competitors, and then you have to decide where you have to fight. Do you really want to fight head on? हेड ऑन मतलब कि जो उनकी कोर स्ट्रेंथ है कि आपको उसी पे फाइट करना है. क्या माइलेज पे कोई लड़ रहा है क्या हमारी टॉप सेलिंग कंपनी के साथ में ऑटोमोबाइल सेक्टर में? या Kia simply comes and they started talking about the features and features. Some of the car companies simply started talking about the build quality. They are not taking the frontal attack on the top company in terms of mileage कि हम आपसे ज़्यादा mileage देंगे. They might be giving good, but they are not, coming up that strong. Because the frontal attack can be dangerous. If the company is big, they have a wider resources, right? So you have to understand your competitors, where you are, what are the gaps where you can fit in, right? And how you can tackle your competitors. और क्या कहीं पे स्कोप है आपके जाने का, और क्या आपके पास रिसोर्सेज हैं. आप फ्रंटल अटैक भी कर सकते हो, बट देन यू नीड टू हैव दैट रिसोर्सेज, यू नीड टू हैव दैट कैपेबिलिटी. अगर कुछ समय तक बिजनेस थोड़ा डाउन भी रहे, या कंपटीटर्स ने अगर अगला कोई मूव किया, तो कैन यू really handle it, right? So this is there, and then we develop the proposition. So first thing is important is know your customers. आपको अपने customers को जानना है. Value proposition से पहले know your product service और idea. आपको product service idea को जानना है. आपको अपनी strength पता होनी चाहिए. Then you know your competitors. Step third, know customers, know yourself, know competitors, right? And then accordingly you have to develop the value proposition, right? कि किस तरह का वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन आप कस्टमर्स को देना चाहते हैं. अब इसका एक छोटा सा मैं एग्जांपल दूंगा आपको. एग्जांपल, सपोज ये आप देखिए वेबसाइट है, ये मैंने खोला है, ये कैंसर वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन, राइट? सो दिस इज एन ओपन इन हुंडई का वेबसाइट मैंने खोला है, जो कि वो ओपन है. सो नाउ व्हाट आर देयर, look at this. So they are talking about this value proposition package. What kind of a value proposition that they are offering? They are seeking call ahead, expedited paperwork and delivery. Now they are talking about the experience. You do not have to wait that much. It will be expedited. It will be fast. It will be, in minutes you will be getting 45 minutes vehicle purchase guarantee. You need not to wait for the entire day. है ना? ये नहीं कि आप सुबह आए और शाम तक आप 6 घंटा वहीं बैठे हुए हैं. They are claiming that 45 minutes vehicle purchase guarantee they are giving. First year of maintenance, free on-site trade appraisal whenever you visit Advantage Hyundai. Advantage Hyundai जब आप विजिट कर रहे हैं तो ये भी आपको फ्री मिल रहा है. Free on-site brushless car wash for lifetime of your vehicle. Shuffle service pick and drop depending on time and date, and so on. So this is the value proposition which looks like in real, है ना? इस तरह से value proposition हमें दिखता है. तो it can be a combination of various statements कि हम ये दे रहे हैं, ये दे रहे हैं, ये benefits दे रहे हैं, ये benefits दे रहे हैं customers को, and then the customer can decide whether they are really looking for these kind of a benefits or not. Now then again, अब सबसे बड़ा जो problem आता है बच्चों, which in future whenever you will look to start your business, the first problem that you will face कि सर ठीक है, हमें समझ में आ गया कि हमें कस्टमर को जानना है, हमें मार्केट रिसर्च को जानना है, हमें कंपटीटर्स को जानना है, बट हम डिसाइड कैसे करें कि हमारा वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन होगा क्या? हम डिसाइड कैसे करें कि हमारा बेनिफिट रहेगा क्या? है ना? हाउ शुड वी डिसाइड इट? So for that, and that was and then then there is a very random things like, okay, provide more features, provide make it emotionally good, right? Make it convenient, bring this thing, bring that thing, right? So these are a lot of abstract things. So to remove that, a company which is known as Bain and Company. Bain and Company is one of the top consultancy firms in the world, right? They come up with a 30 value frameworks, 30 elements of value in 2015 and 16, and later on it was published in Harvard Business Review, right? And it's like a very exhaustive framework of 30 elements of value from B2C customer, business से customers के लिए. अब ये बड़ा important है, and I will suggest you to go through that, because it will help you in deciding the value proposition for your business. So this is like this. पूरा आर्टिकल आपको इस पे मिल जाएगा, इस लिंक पे. Later on maybe I will share the PPT. आप गूगल में भी डालेंगे तो आपको मिल जाएगा, right? So okay, so now they have divided the entire value which you can bring into your product or services in the form of 4 different heads. One is functional value, one is emotional value, one is life-changing value, and one is social impact, right? So first is like functional value. Okay, functional value basically talks about if you see, it talks about the first thing is saves time. Anything which saves time. For example, now you are struggling from where to get that idea. My product is not different. My product is may not be unique. है ना? कहाँ से unique product लाओगे? इतने सारे प्रोडक्ट तो ऑलरेडी है मार्केट में, इतनी सारी नीड्स तो ऑलरेडी फुलफिल हो रही हैं. सो फ्रॉम वेयर यू विल कम अप विद समथिंग न्यू which can help the market? It's very difficult, right? So what we can do, we can come up with this functional value. So functional value basically talks about, first thing is saves time. If your product saves time, it will do wonders, है ना? Look at the various kind of websites. अगर अभी आपको याद हो, there was one company which becomes very famous. The name is Trivago, right? What the company used to do, they used to compare the minimum hotel and the flight prices across various websites, and then they bring it in front of you, right? So like your time is saved. Hello. Okay. So your time is saved. So if you can really do something which can save time, it will do wonders for your company, right? So whatever product you have, if you can save the time of the customers, because time is something which is very important, right? Then comes the simplifies. If you can simplify the process, and maybe if you will use these various different kind of travel websites from where you book tickets, you will see अब उनमें web check-in का भी वो आ गया है, option आ गया. You can simply click, you can simply web check-in. That means you need not to go to the company website to book a air ticket and to do the web check-in separately, right? Or anything which simplifies your work, you will love to go for that. There's a lot of third-party providers, service providers, which help in tax calculations, which help in income tax return filing, right? Because they simplify the process and it become very easy for you. Makes money. Anything which can makes money can bring good value into your product or services, right? Makes money or saving money. So there is a lot of schemes you may have seen that, okay, if you refer to the customers, आपको 3 कस्टमर्स को रेफर करेंगे, आपको 20 रुपीज का डिस्काउंट मिलेगा, 50 रुपीज का डिस्काउंट मिलेगा, or you will be getting the loyalty bonuses if you will use it for the 5 times, or maybe if you are there from the 5 years. If it reduces risk, if it can reduce risk, right? Any kind of a risk, if it can reduce, it is a value proposition, right? For example, there's a lot of companies which are coming up with which share your risk, maybe in terms of your business or in terms of the other stuff. Something which can organize your work, integrate your work. Now integration and connect your work, integration and connection. So if you see the success of OLX and Quicker, what these companies do, what OLX do, right? So before OLX is like, you want to buy your old furniture, maybe suppose now you have completed your education and maybe your job is in some some other city which is away from your home place or from your hometown, है ना? आपके घर से सपोज मान लो 1000 किलोमीटर दूर आपका नौकरी लग जाता है. Now in that case, the first thing is like, and maybe you need to buy your furniture, maybe you are living in a flat or somewhere, and now you will be like, okay, I'm here for the 1 or 2 years, whether I should go for the new one or the older one. Maybe if I can go for the older one, so maybe earlier you need to visit to some Budh Bazaar or Som Bazaar or somewhere where the old furniture is sold once in a week, or maybe some specific market, and from there you will buy your product, right? Or buy your that old furniture, and then it will help you out, right? Now what the OLX Quicker has done, they have simply connect buyer to seller. They come up with a platform, connected buyer to seller, integrated all the things, and it's hit, right? So OLX is a good hit. Quicker provides one more additional services, which is like you can get a quick delivery also, है ना? आपको एक easy delivery भी मिल सकती है उस केस में. That means in OLX, if the seller is selling, you have to go to their place to pick the product. In Quicker, it's like you pay something extra, they will pick it from the seller place and they will provide it at your place in charge of some money. So वो hassle आपका खत्म हो गया, पैसा खर्च करना है, hassle नहीं है, right? Reduces efforts, avoid hassles. So ये आपका existing product में अगर ये आप सब कर सकते हैं ना, सारे फंक्शनल चीजें कुछ ना कुछ तो आप कर सकते हैं, तो आपका ये भी एक यूनिक वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन है. आपने देखा भी Hyundai का क्या था, लेस पेपर वर्क, सेव टाइम बच रहा है आपका, है ना? एक्सपीडिएट प्रोसेस, 45 मिनट्स में बोल रहे हैं कि आपका परचेज हम करा देंगे कार को, उससे ज़्यादा समय नहीं लगेगा आपको। भाई हम मार्केट में अगर कपड़ा लेने भी जाते हैं, है ना, अगर मुझे बनारस से साड़ी भी लेनी है अपनी सिस्टर के लिए, तो मे बी और मैं अगर सिस्टर के साथ जाता हूँ तो मे बी इट विल टेक अराउंड हाफ एन आवर तो लगेगा ना कम से कम। ढूंढूंगा, 4 दुकानों में जाऊंगा, कपड़ा देखूंगा, पर दे आर सेइंग कि 45 मिनट्स में आप पूरा गाड़ी खरीद सकते हैं, हम सब आपको रेडी करके देंगे, और ये हमारी गारंटी है आपसे, और वो भी सेटिस्फेक्शन के साथ, और वो भी आप हमें 10 में से 9 का या 10 का रेटिंग देंगे। सो दिस इज द वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन दैट दे आर डूइंग इट, राइट। एक पिज्जा कंपनी बोलती है कि हम 30 मिनट्स में पिज्जा आपको प्रोवाइड कराएंगे, राइट। आपको आप फूड ऐप से एक फूड ऑर्डर करते हैं, वो भी आपको रेस्टोरेंट की डिस्टेंस और एक कैलकुलेट करके बता देते हैं कि इतनी देर में आपके पास प्रोडक्ट आ जाएगा। एंड इन अर्लियर डेज, आपका तो मुझे नहीं पता, 2018-19 में ये फूड, कई फूड डिलीवरी कंपनीज दे यूज टू रिटर्न द मनी ऑल्सो। अगर आधा घंटा बोला है ना, और अगर वो 35 मिनट भी हो गया, तो वो 10 रुपया 20 रुपया आपके पास वापस आता था। नाउ तो दे हैव सैचुरेटेड एंड कस्टमर हैज लेस ऑप्शंस। कई सारे तो क्लब हो गए ना, फूड कंपनी नहीं चल पाई, तो मे बी नाउ these things are not there, but it was there, right? If you can reduce this cost, avoid hazards, quality, so quality, so you guys know it's always there. Variety, more variety if you can provide. Sensory appeal, now sensory appeal is something, you know, senses पे हमें अच्छा feel होना चाहिए, right? You go to a you will go to a restaurant, whenever you enter you will feel a fresh air, maybe, you know, दरवाजे के ऊपर एक पंखा लगा है जहां से सीधे आपको हवा आ रहा है, right? You go inside that. Now I will again give you an example of Pizza Hut. Pizza. Now you go to Pizza Hut. You order a pizza. What is the, or you order any food in any of the restaurant. सबसे बड़ा पेन पॉइंट क्या रहता है कि वो टाइम, है ना, वो 10 मिनट, 15 मिनट, 5 मिनट, आधा घंटा, जो भी लगता है जब तक वो खाना लेके आपकी टेबल तक पहुंचाता है, राइट? सो दैट वेटिंग टाइम इज समथिंग पेन. सो what this uh, companies are doing, they are providing sensory appeal in terms of you know, वहां पर कहीं पे गिटार का पिक्चर है, कहीं पे कोई और पिक्चर है, आप देख रहे हैं, आपको अच्छा फील हो रहा है ना। nowadays they come up with an interactive table also. इंटरेक्टिव टेबल में आप अपने से डिजाइन कर सकते हैं, अपने से पिज्जा बना सकते हैं, टॉपिंग्स को आप क्रिएट कर सकते हैं, राइट? So that means to say a lot of things can be done. So in that way you can create a different kind of a sensory appeal, right? So इस तरीके से अगर सेंसरी अपील आप क्रिएट करेंगे, तो उस केस में बेनिफिट यही रहेगा कि यू नो, यू कैन क्रिएट द डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस फॉर द कस्टमर, राइट? So that's why different kind of a color combinations comes up, right? And you can use it. Inform, if you can provide different kind of information. Emotionally, if you can reduce the anxiety. Wellness, है ना, therapeutic value. If you take the case of different kind of a smart watch nowadays, they come up with various functions ना. heartbeat monitoring system is there. स्मार्ट वॉच है, बेसिक फंक्शन क्या है उनका? बेसिक फंक्शन उनका ये है कि आप फोन से कनेक्ट करके कॉल कर सकते हैं, या थोड़ा बहुत आप गेम्स वगैरह, मैसेज वगैरह, व्हाट्सएप वगैरह कर सकते हैं. दे आर प्रोवाइडिंग दिस वेलनेस एंड थेरेपेटिक वैल्यू ऑल्सो. कैलोरी आप उसमें काउंट कर सकते हैं, मेजर कर सकते हैं. यू कैन चेक योर हार्ट बीट, right? Oximeter be, you can check your oxygen level. So these different kind of things are also there nowadays, if you see, especially after COVID, right? If it rewards me, nostalgia, fun entertainment, attractiveness, design aesthetics, you know, provide access to something, badge value, you know, you are a part of that particular club or life. So these are the functional rational value, these are the emotional value which I talk about. So we can always, कोई भी प्रोडक्ट हमारे पास हो, हम हमेशा उनमें ना, we can think of providing some emotional or functional value. All we cannot provide, but at least something we can provide. Maybe we are a restaurant, even if we can save time na, if we can, rather than having you know, half an hour, if we can provide the food in 10 minutes or 15 minutes, it will do wonders. Our customer will increase in numbers. Or even if we can simply simplify the process, right? Simplify, or maybe if it can help in connecting with the people, right? For example, many investors come to the different kind of a coffee shops, different kind of a places. So उनकी USP है कि वहाँ पर लोग business meetings करते हैं. If you take the example of you know, one of the company, they come up with a claim like, a lot can happen over coffee. बहुत कुछ हो सकता है कॉफी पे, एक पूरी बिजनेस मीटिंग हो सकती है, राइट? यू गो देयर, यू ऑर्डर समथिंग, और आप पूरा पूरा दिन भी वहां बैठे रहो, 3 घंटा 4 घंटा 5 घंटा, नो वन इज गोइंग टू बॉदर यू कि सर आप निकलिए यहाँ से, आप 5 घंटा यहाँ बैठ चुके हैं। नहीं, उनका वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन है वो सब। You can sit there, you can have your work, you can meet with your clients, you can close your business deals, right? Or whatever, right? So so they come up with these kind of value propositions. कॉफी शॉप ही है ना, काम तो वही है ना, आएगा बंदा, ऑर्डर देगा, कॉफी पिएगा, बट उनको लाने के लिए ये हम वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन में दे रहे हैं कि वी आर प्रोवाइडिंग यू एक्स्ट्रा एनवायरनमेंट, राइट? आई हैव सीन ऑफ डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ investment deals or business meetings happening over in these coffee shops, right? With some food and coffee, it becomes popular, and then once the habit is built up, then people comes in more and more numbers. Then life changing, if something can change your life, motivation, some sort of a motivation is required, right? For example, अब हमने इमोशनल फंक्शनल वैल्यू की बात नहीं किया, हम लाइफ चेंजिंग की बात कर रहे हैं। मोटिवेशन में टेक द केस ऑफ फिटबिट basically talks about the fitness. Heirloom, if you are providing something. Affiliation, belonging. So these kind of value propositions can also be developed so that you belong to the group. You may have seen some of the advertisements in the television of many of the companies, and they always talk about, welcome being the 1 crore customers of this particular company or 1,000 customers of this company, and you feel कि okay यार 1 crore और लोग हैं जिन्होंने यही प्रोडक्ट लिया है जो मैंने भी लिया है, so you feel like you belonging. We have a different kind of a community, है ना? You open, you may order some product from the Nykaa or maybe OnePlus की community है, राइट? नायका की अपनी कम्युनिटी है, आप रॉयल एनफील्ड चलाते हैं, उनकी डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ राइडर्स कम्युनिटी बनी हुई है। सो यू फील लाइक दैट यू बिलोंग टू अ ग्रुप, and as a human being, this feeling of affiliation and belonging is important, right? And if something can provide hope, self-actualize or self-transform, so these are the different kind of a value proposition. I request you to go to this article. अब इसमें कुछ तो खैर आपका पेड होगा, लेकिन जितना ऑनलाइन अवेलेबल है, once you click on this, आप ये 30 एलिमेंट्स ऑफ कंज्यूमर वैल्यू करके डालना, इस तरह से आपका एक HBR का आर्टिकल का it will get open up, and you just go through it. You will, it will definitely help you in deciding the value proposition, which is the most important part for any of the business model canvas, right? So this is the business model canvas, and value proposition is something which is important. What are the other elements? Now look at the other elements of business model canvas. So the first thing that we have to look at for the key partners. Who are our key partners? Now in our business, कौन हमारे partners हैं? Who are our key suppliers? कौन हमारे suppliers हैं? Right? Are they? What is the capability of our suppliers? Can they really provide the required raw material and supplies on time? Can they really do wonders when we are really looking for? Right? Which key resources are we acquiring from partners? What we are really looking for? Which key activities do partners perform? What are the main activities that the partners perform? Right? So now partners are very much essential. Why? I will tell you now. See, for example, we all acclaim Apple, right? हम सब कहते हैं एप्पल बहुत बड़ा ब्रांड है, आईफोन इज समथिंग व्हिच इज लाइक wonderful company, and the great product, good sale across the world. What can be the reasons, guys? Have you ever thought of? Right. So if you go through the case of iPhone, you will be happy to see that what they have a very strong supplier network. बहुत उनका strong है supplier का network, and what that network do? They have the capability to provide the product as per the demand. Demand ज्यादा है, कई कंपनीज के प्रोडक्ट आपको मिलते नहीं है, पर उनका तुरंत आपको मिल जाएगा, बिकॉज सप्लायर हैज दिस कैपेबिलिटी. सप्लायर कुछ सप्लायर्स में उनकी प्रोडक्ट असेंबली की भी कैपेबिलिटीज है, राइट? So they have this exclusive agreement with around 250 suppliers. There was a time when they have more than 1,000 suppliers, but वहां पे फिर उन्होंने ट्रिम डाउन किया, सिर्फ कुछ सप्लायर्स को ही रखा जिनकी कैपेबिलिटी अच्छी है, उनके साथ एक्सक्लूसिव कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स किए, and now they are wonderful. They can produce as much as they need, right? And they can have a very good command on their supply chain. यानी प्रोडक्ट का आना मार्केट में बिकना और उसके हिसाब से, क्योंकि अगर डिमांड है प्रोडक्ट नहीं मिल रहा है तो भी कस्टमर इरिटेट होके दूसरा प्रोडक्ट ले लेगा और धीरे धीरे मार्केट खत्म हो जाता है, राइट? सो वी हैव टू बी वेरी केयरफुल अबाउट ओवर डिमांड भी हमने कर दिया और प्रोडक्ट हम नहीं सप्लाई कर पा रहे तो वो भी एक प्रॉब्लम है. slowly and you know with time the customer can also get irritated. नहीं भी होगा तो एटलीस्ट आपने वो मार्केट अपॉर्चुनिटी तो आपने खो दिया ना. अगर आप 100 करोड़ का प्रॉफिट बना सकते थे, 1000 प्रोडक्ट बेच के आपने 50 करोड़ का ही बनाया 500 प्रोडक्ट बेच के, तो वो भी एक प्रॉब्लम है, राइट? अभी आप रिसेंटली देखिए ना, अभी आप देखिए मार्केट में, स्पेशली ऑटोमोबाइल मार्केट का मैं एग्जांपल दे रहा हूँ. आपने शायद अगर आप न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ते हैं या कभी आपने सुना भी होगा, नहीं भी पढ़ते हैं तो चाय पे चर्चा या ऐसे डिस्कशन पे, यू मे हैव सीन दैट अभी सेमीकंडक्टर क्राइसिस चल रहा है ऑटोमोबाइल सेक्टर में, है ना? अभी आप रिपोर्ट्स पढ़ना, कई सारी कंपनी अपनी डिमांड के हिसाब से प्रोडक्ट नहीं दे पा रही. वेटिंग पीरियड एक साल, दो साल, 6 महीना पहुंच गया है. बट एक कंपनी है, मैं नाम नहीं लूंगा, आप उसके बारे में भी पढ़ना. दे आर एबल टू यू नो provide it on time despite of that much of crisis. What is the reason? Because their suppliers जो कि उनको रॉ मटेरियल और बाकी सारे पार्ट्स देते हैं. आप तो प्रोडक्ट बनाओगे ना, आपको रॉ मटेरियल तो कहीं और से लोगे आप. तो their suppliers are good because the company is a very large corporate house. और उनकी अपनी ही सब कंपनीज है, उनकी अपनी केमिकल कंपनीज है, उनके अपना कम्युनिकेशन है, उनके अपने बाकी सेटअप है. तो उनका चैनल बहुत स्ट्रांग है, उस कारण से वो प्रोडक्ट को समय पे दे पा रहे हैं सेमीकंडक्टर को, और उनकी गाड़ियां समय पे मार्केट में आ पा रही हैं. वेटिंग पीरियड ज्यादा होने के बावजूद वो टाइमली सप्लाई कर पा रहे हैं, जिससे कि प्रोडक्ट मार्केट में उनका ज्यादा आ रहा है और डिमांड है तो ज्यादा मार्केट शेयर वो ग्रैब कर रहे हैं, right? And in last 3-4 years the company has really gained a very good momentum, right? So you can search for that. So partners, suppliers, investors, they are very much essential. कौन हमारे हैं, कितना उनका बैकअप है, कितना वो पैसा लगा सकते हैं, कितना वो प्रोडक्ट को सप्लाई कर सकते हैं, उसके हिसाब से हमें वी हैव टू लुक फॉर. मैं एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल लो. सपोज आप एक कॉन्ट्रैक्टर हैं, आपको बिजनेस बनाना है, आपको आपको कंस्ट्रक्शन करना है, आपको घर बनाना है. अगर आपको डेली का अगर आपको सीमेंट भी लगता है और आपको पता है कि जिन सीमेंट की दुकान से मेरी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है वो दिन का मुझे 50 बोरा सीमेंट या 100 बोरा सीमेंट ही दे सकते हैं, तो आपकी कैपेबिलिटीज तो लिमिटेड होगी ना. उसी हिसाब से यू विल लुक फॉर इट. सो मे बी यू नीड टू इंक्रीज योर सप्लायर्स. और मे बी अगर सप्लायर है जो 1000 दे सकता है बट आप 50 ही कर सकते हैं, तो फिर आप छोटे सप्लायर से ज्यादा करोगे जो आपको कम प्राइस में दे सके. सो ये सारी कैलकुलेशंस वी हैव टू कीप इन माइंड दैट हु आर आवर की पार्टनर्स. एंड व्हाट इज द मोटिवेशन फॉर पार्टनरशिप? What are the reasons? Someone is like, this is the optimization and economy. We can optimize the things, we can economize the things, we can reduce the risk and uncertainty, acquisition of particular resources and activities. Now अभी आप देखिए, आपको पता है कि मारुति का और टोयोटा का एक टाई अप है आपस में. दे आर पार्टनर्स फॉर सम ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट्स. और कई उनके प्रोडक्ट्स हैं जो कि जिनमें सेम तरह की टेक्नोलॉजी वो लोग या डिजाइन वगैरह यूज करते हैं, है ना? ब्रीजा है, अर्बन ब्रीजा आपका मारुति का है, और उनका अर्बन नाम से ब्रांड है, अर्बन क्रूजर. या मारुति का बलेनो है, उनका ब्रांजा है. सो टेक्नोलॉजी शेयरिंग वहां पर होती है, शायद कुछ पार्ट्स भी शेयर होते हैं. पार्टनरशिप है. वो पार्टनरशिप क्यों है? मे बी बिकॉज ऑफ दिस ऑप्टिमाइजेशन एंड इकोनॉमी, और मे बी बिकॉज ऑफ रिडक्शन ऑफ रिस्क एंड अनसर्टेनिटी, राइट? So both might be getting the benefit. That's why they are in the partnership. Otherwise, तो partnership होती नहीं, right? So we have to look for the kind of a partner that we have. Even if you are starting, अगर अपना स्टार्टअप भी खोल रहे हो, अपना एक छोटा सा you decided कि that I should start a restaurant, तो वहां भी आपको देखना है कि आपका जो रॉ मटेरियल कहाँ से आएगा, आपका मिल्क कहाँ से आएगा, आपका सब्जियां कहाँ से आएंगी, आपके बाकी प्रोडक्ट्स कहाँ से आएगा, आपका टेबल चेयर कहाँ से आएगा, आपका इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कौन देखेगा, right? या any of the any technical product that you are coming up with. So key partners in terms of your investors, in terms of your suppliers, in terms of the other service providers, the support providers, we need to be very careful. And what can be the motivation of partnership? Obviously जब तक दोनों parties को फायदा ना हो, short term या long term, कोई भी partnership में आएगा नहीं, right? So that is one thing. Then what are the key activities do our value proposition require? Value proposition हमने decide कर लिया. उसके हिसाब से क्या हमें की एक्टिविटीज हमें करनी है। हमारा वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन है कन्वीनियंस, हमें इजिली देना है, तो उसके लिए हमें क्या एक्टिविटी करनी पड़ेगी? इजिली देने के लिए मे बी हमें प्रोसेसिंग फास्ट करनी पड़ेगी, मे बी हमें ज्यादा स्टाफ चाहिए शोरूम में जो कि 45 मिनट्स में प्रोडक्ट को कस्टमर को दे दे, या मे बी हमारी टेक्नोलॉजी इतनी एडवांस होनी चाहिए कि सब कुछ हम खुद ही कर दें, राइट। हमारा डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन चैनल क्या रहेगा, कैसे हम कस्टमर तक पहुंचेंगे, क्या हम सीधे ई कॉमर्स के थ्रू कस्टमर तक पहुंचेंगे या हम बीच में कोई मिडिल मैन रखेंगे? what will be our other customer relationship, what will be the revenue streams, what are the different categories, production, problem solving, platform network, what will be our key resources, है ना? That means what key resources do our value propositions require, our distribution channels, customer relationship, revenue, what will be our revenue streams, है ना? What will be the type of resources that will be required, physically, intellectual, human, financial. Value propositions तो मैंने डिस्कस कर ही लिया है, इसके अंदर ये सारी चीजें आपकी आ गई। Then we are talking about the customer relationship. Now relationship is something which is important. What type of relationship that each of our customer segment expect us to establish and maintain with them? क्या हमें relationship रखनी है? Now इसका एक just a minute, let me just have some water. Okay. Now the kind of relationship also depends on the kind of a business that we are doing, type of a business, the place of the business, and so on. So for example, the relationship can be first transactional. इस सिर्फ आपको एक ट्रांजेक्शन से मतलब है, ट्रांजेक्शन हुआ, रिलेशनशिप एंड्स. इट कैन बी लाइक अ लॉन्ग टर्म बट इट शुड बी प्रॉफिटेबल. फॉर एग्जांपल, मे बी आप एक स्टेशन के बाहर आपका एक शॉप है ना, या आपकी एक कोई रिटेल चेन है या कुछ इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स का प्रोडक्ट है, तो वहां पर आपका क्या ट्रांजेक्शन है? आपका ट्रांजेक्शनल रिलेशनशिप है. आपको भी पता है कि पता नहीं ये जो ट्रेवलर है ये एक बार अगर यहाँ से गया तो दोबारा आएगा या नहीं आएगा, है ना? Whether he will come or not, or what will be the issue if he comes up, right? So it is like a transactional thing. The second can be you know when you maintain some short-term relationships, right? May not be long-term, but maybe you can look for some short-term relationships, right? Guys, just a minute, एक मिनट बस दे दीजिए मेरे को. Okay. So now the second can be like, when you really need to develop the relationships, and then you also have to look for the whether the relationship is profitable or not, right? So for example, something can be short-term relationships, and then this relationship should be uplifted or downgraded. For example, जैसे अगर आप बैंक की बात करते हो, है ना, कुछ प्राइवेट सेक्टर बैंक्स हैं जहां पर जैसे आप लोग अगर अकाउंट खोलने जाओगे बच्चों, तो यू विल सी कि दैट इट इज लाइक यू हैव टू पे अराउंड 15,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees for opening the account. That is the minimum average quarterly balance that you have to keep it, है ना? कम से कम आपको 10,000 रुपया या 15,000 रुपया अकाउंट में अपना मिनिमम बैलेंस आपको रखना पड़ेगा, राइट? एंड सपोज एक बैंक का 10,000 था, आई विल नॉट नेम द बैंक, नाउ दे हैव सडनली इंक्रीज इट टू द 15,000. तो व्हाट इज द मैसेज फ्रॉम दिस पर्टिकुलर एक्सरसाइज? द मैसेज इज क्लियर कि हमें जो 10,000 वाला जो अकाउंट है वो नहीं चाहिए, हमें 15,000 वाला चाहिए. मतलब कि 10,000 वाला हमें प्रॉफिटेबल नहीं है, यानी कि हम जो लोग सिर्फ 10,000 का मिनिमम बैलेंस रख सकते हैं उनके साथ हम रिलेशनशिप को एंड करना चाहते हैं. तो यहाँ पर हम रिलेशनशिप को डाउनलोड करें, यानी कि या तो आप मिनिमम बैलेंस अपना 15,000 रखिए अकाउंट में, तब आप हमारे बैंक के कस्टमर बने रह सकते हैं। अगर आप 10,000 रखेंगे तो भैया फिर हम आपको पेनल्टी पे पेनल्टी लगाएंगे और आपको अपना अकाउंट क्लोज करना पड़ेगा। यस नो, यही है ना? सो रिलेशन, ऐसा क्यों है? बिकॉज बैंक को लगता है कि अगर कोई कम से कम 15,000 नहीं रखेगा तो वो हमारे लिए प्रॉफिटेबल नहीं है ना? सो दिस इज, and that's why they come up with this calculation. And if you see, most of the private banks have minimum 10,000, तो I think most में है ही, किसी में 15 भी है, किसी में 20 भी है, किसी में 25 भी है, right? So the kind of a relationship that we have to develop is also depend on the type of a business that you know. अब वही एक बैंक में जिसमें वो कह रहा है कि अगर कोई 15,000 एवरेज क्वार्टरली बैलेंस नहीं रख रहा है, उसका तो पेनल्टी लगा के, यानी कि उनको डिमोटिवेट कर रहे हैं कि आप खाता बंद कर दो हमसे। वहीं दे हैव वेरी हाई नेटवर्क कस्टमर जो कि उनके साथ अच्छी खासी इन्वेस्टमेंट्स हैं, अच्छा वो बैलेंस मेंटेन करते हैं, उनको उन्होंने अलग अलग टायर बनाए हुए हैं ना, प्रीमियम कस्टमर्स, गोल्ड कस्टमर्स, सिल्वर कस्टमर्स, आपने सुने होंगे शायद ये सारे टाइप। गोल्ड कस्टमर्स आर लाइक वर, उनको अलग से प्रेफर्ड बैंकिंग बोला जाता है इसको बैंकिंग की लैंग्वेज में। They specific relationship manager will be assigned to them, and their job will be to to look for that specific type of सर्विस। उनको अलग प्रीमियम सर्विस उनको दी जाती है, उनके काम थोड़ा पहले होते हैं, क्यों में उनको वेट नहीं करना पड़ता। वो फोन पर भी कई सारे जो पॉसिबल है एक बैंक के लिए, जो फोन बैंकिंग या सबके थ्रू वो काम उनके हो जाते हैं। प्रॉपर एक सर्विस मैनेजर उनके लिए असाइन होता है। सो काइंड ऑफ रिलेशनशिप our customer segment expect from us that we have to come up with, and किस तरह का हमें बनाना है, that we have to see किस तरह से हमें उसको इंटीग्रेट करना है और कितना कॉस्टली वो रहेगा, है ना? and then we have to look for the kind of a customers that we are looking for. कई सारे बैंक छोटे कस्टमर्स को रखना ही नहीं चाहते, प्राइवेट बैंक स्पेशली। 10,000 एवरेज क्वार्टरली बैलेंस, 5,000 उससे कम है तो नहीं रखेंगे। क्यों? क्योंकि आप कॉस्ट बढ़ा रहे हो बैंक की। आप उतनी बार उनके एटीएम में जाओगे, उतनी बार उनकी ब्रांच में जाओगे, उनके कस्टमर से इंटरेक्ट करोगे, कस्टमर उनको बढ़ाने पड़ेंगे, तो उनको ये लगता है कि इसमें हमारा खर्चा ज्यादा हो रहा है, फायदा कम हो रहा है, तो यानी कि आप मिनिमम इतना रखिए, नहीं तो आप हमारे साथ मत रहिए। तो कस्टमर रिलेशनशिप जो बनानी है वो भी बड़ा डिपेंड करता है कि आप कैसे मेंटेन रखते हैं, है ना? वहीं पे अब मैंने आपको एग्जांपल दिया था, मारुति का ही नेक्सा। आप देखिए, नेक्सा इज लाइक दे आर प्रीमियम प्रोडक्ट्स, तो प्रीमियम सर्विसेज और प्रीमियम एक्सपीरियंस, और उनका रिलेशनशिप का भी वही है, बहुत अच्छी रिलेशनशिप हो कस्टमर के साथ उस केस में मेंटेन रखते हैं। तो कस्टमर रिलेशनशिप कैसी मेंटेन करनी है, इट ऑल्सो डिपेंड ऑन द कस्टमर्स, द टाइप ऑफ कस्टमर्स दैट यू हैव। Everybody is looking for profitability, and that too profitability with responsibility in today's era, है ना? सिर्फ प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी से भी काम नहीं चलेगा, आपको सोशली रिस्पॉन्सिबल और सस्टेनेबल भी बनना पड़ेगा। देन ओनली यू कैन fulfill the requirements of the government and the other people and can satisfy your needs. उसके बाद है आपका चैनल्स, दैट मीन्स थ्रू विच चैनल डू अवर कस्टमर सेगमेंट वांट टू बी रीच्ड, है ना? किस चैनल से आप अपने कस्टमर सेगमेंट तक पहुंचते हैं और कैसे उन तक पहुंचते हैं, B2C पहुंचते हैं कि किस तरह से आप चलते हैं, कैसे चैनल इंटीग्रेट हुए हैं, कौन से मोस्ट कॉस्ट एफिशिएंट है, कैसे आप उनको इंटीग्रेट कर रहे हैं। देन फिर कस्टमर सेगमेंट कि आप किन के लिए आप कस्टमर वैल्यू को क्रिएट कर रहे हैं, कौन आपके इंपॉर्टेंट कस्टमर्स हैं, है ना? क्या आप मास मार्केट, यानी कि मास मार्केट मीन्स सबके लिए मार्केटिंग करना, निश मीन्स कुछ कुछ कस्टमर्स के लिए करना, डाइवर्सिफाइड कस्टमर्स के लिए करना, मल्टी साइडेड प्लेटफॉर्म्स हैं, क्या सिचुएशन है जिस तरह से आप जाना चाहते हैं। Then cost structure. So what are the most important costs inherent in our business model? कौन कौन सी most important cost inherent हैं, कौन कौन से resources हैं जो कि सबसे ज़्यादा expensive हैं, कौन कौन से activities हैं कि जो कि expensive हैं, है ना? आपका जो business है क्या वो cost driven है ना? या आपका जो business है low price value proposition. I have already discussed this with you. That means same for the less. That means we are providing the same product at a very lesser price or less price, है ना? Or you are providing it with the maximum automation or extensive outsourcing, or it is value driven, that means focus on value creation or value proposition, या सिंपल है, सैंपल कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स पे है, यानी कि फिक्स कॉस्ट पे है, वेरिएबल कॉस्ट पे है, इकोनॉमीज ऑफ स्केल, इकोनॉमीज ऑफ स्कोप है, और व्हाट आर द रेवेन्यू स्ट्रीम्स, दैट मीन्स क्या क्या वैल्यू है जो कि हमारे कस्टमर्स रियली लुकिंग टू विलिंग टू पे, and what they are currently paying and how they are paying, और कैसे वो पे करेंगे, क्या उनका पेमेंट का टर्म्स एंड कंडीशन है, राइट. टाइप्स में एसेट सेल्स, यूजेस फी, सब्सक्रिप्शन फी, लैंडिंग, रेंटिंग, लीजिंग, लाइसेंसिंग, ब्रोकरेज फी, एडवर्टाइजिंग, fixed pricing, list price, product feature dependent, customer segment. So that means now we have to focus on the cost structure. Cost structure basically talks about, guys, अच्छा एक हमने customer segment पढ़ा. Customer segment basically बात करता है कि what kind of a segment that you are targeting. Are you only targeting few customers? That is NICHE, niche. Niche means एक या दो customers या बहुत कम customers जिन पे आप target कर रहे हैं, है ना. For जैसे कई सारे luxury brands हैं, है ना, they target the niche segments. Mass market means you are going to the entire market with the same product. आपका एक सिंपल प्रोडक्ट है जिससे आप सारी मार्केट को टारगेट कर रहे हैं. डाइवर्सिफाइड मार्केट है, मल्टी साइडेड प्लेटफॉर्म है. कॉस्ट स्ट्रक्चर मीन्स व्हाट आर द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट कॉस्ट विच आर इनहेरेंट इन आवर बिजनेस मॉडल. कौन कौन से रिसोर्सेज हैं जो सबसे ज़्यादा एक्सपेंसिव हैं, कौन कौन सी एक्टिविटीज़ हैं जो सबसे ज़्यादा एक्सपेंसिव हैं, और आपका जो बिजनेस है क्या वो कॉस्ट ड्रिवन है या ऑटोमेशन है इसमें मैक्सिमम, या एक्सपेंसिव आउटसोर्सिंग है, या वैल्यू ड्रिवन है. ठीक है. और सैंपल कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स में क्या फिक्स कॉस्ट है, क्या वेरिएबल कॉस्ट है, कितनी इकोनॉमीज ऑफ स्केल है, क्या इकोनॉमीज ऑफ स्कोप है. तो ये सारी चीजें, यानी कि कहाँ से कितना पैसा लग रहा है आपका, कितना फिक्स कॉस्ट लग रहा है, कितना सैलरी देना पड़ेगा, कितना रेंट देना पड़ेगा, कितना यूटिलिटी देना पड़ेगा, कितना वेरिएबल कॉस्ट है, कैसे आप इकोनॉमीज ऑफ स्केल बढ़ा सकते हैं, है ना. क्या कॉस्ट ड्रिवन है या वैल्यू ड्रिवन है. फिर रेवेन्यू स्ट्रीम्स, दैट मीन्स फॉर व्हाट वैल्यू आर आवर कस्टमर्स रियली विलिंग टू पे, कितना वो वाकई में पे करना चाहते हैं. फॉर व्हाट डू दे करंटली पे, कितना वो करंटली पे कर रहे हैं. हाउ आर दे करंटली पेइंग, कैसे वो करंटली पे करते हैं. हाउ वुड दे प्रेफर टू पे, कैसे वो पे करना चाहते हैं. हाउ मच डज ईच रेवेन्यू स्ट्रीम कंट्रीब्यूट टू ओवरऑल रेवेन्यू, कैसे रेवेन्यू स्ट्रीम कंट्रीब्यूट करती है ओवरऑल रेवेन्यू को. अब टाइप्स इसमें हो जाएंगे, एसेट सेल, यूजेस फ्री, सब्सक्रिप्शन फ्री. इन सब से पैसा आता है ना, एसेट से या यूज कर रहे हो या सब्सक्रिप्शन दे रहे हो. और यू आर lending, renting, leasing, licensing, brokerage fee, advertising. So these are the revenue streams, right? Or you can go for the fixed pricing, which talks about the list price, product feature dependent, customer segment dependent, volume dependent. Or it can be dynamic pricing, negotiation, yield management, real time market. Right. So अब इसमें छोटे से एग्जांपल हैं, एक बार आप इसको देख लीजिए, फिर मैं इसको एक्सप्लेन करता हूँ. एक मिनट दीजिए मुझे, जस्ट look at it and then I will. Okay. So guys, I hope I'm audible. Okay. So now, so this is a business model canvas for the company Netflix, right? So if you look at the very different kind of a head in which we have divided it, so the key partners can be the investors, those who are investing into the company. Then we have it can be like the media producers, those who help in media. Then we have filmmaker guilds, those who help in making the different kind of films and movies. Then we have cinema theaters, TV networks, right? Consumer electronic companies, regulators. So these are the key partners for the company. So how the Netflix started? The company started initially as a DVD rental company. That means they used to provide DVDs on rent, और उस तरह से उनका बिजनेस स्टार्ट हुआ. धीरे धीरे वो सब्सक्रिप्शन पे आए मॉडल पे, जो कि उनका करंट मॉडल है. अब उनका एक्टिविटीज क्या है? कंटेंट को लाइसेंसिंग करते हैं, कंटेंट को बनाते भी हैं, कंटेंट डिस्ट्रीब्यूट भी करते हैं, सेल्स एंड मार्केटिंग में भी हेल्प करते हैं, डाटा एनालिटिक्स, उनके अपने रिकमेंडेशन इंजन पीछे चलते रहते हैं, विच सजेस्ट, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल व्हेन यू यूज नेटफ्लिक्स, यू हैव सीन ना टॉप 10 इन इंडिया, बिकॉज यू वॉच that particular movie, that's why we are showing you that movie. So they have their own collaborative filtering or own different kind of a system with them, which can definitely help them in doing the different kind of things. So these are the key activities. Then we have key resources, which talks about brand, app, website, platform, employees, filmmaker, producers, prizes and awards. And then we talk about the different value propositions. So what are their value propositions? जो benefit दे रहे हैं? 24/7 on demand, entertainment, view high definition shows and movies, stream content, unlimited access, Netflix original, 30-day free trial, no commercials. तो ये सारे उनके वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशंस हैं. आपको जो प्रोडक्ट चाहिए 24/7 आपको मिलेगा, एंटरटेनमेंट आपको मिलेगा, हाई डेफिनेशन शोज एंड मूवीज आपको मिल रही हैं, स्ट्रीम मिल रहा है, अनलिमिटेड एक्सेस आपको मिलती है डिपेंडिंग ऑन योर प्लान, 30 डे का फ्री ट्रायल मिल रहा है, नो कमर्शियल्स मिल रहा है. और अभी एक वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशन इनका कई सारे नए प्रोडक्ट के साथ में आपको 1 महीने का मिलता है इनका सब्सक्रिप्शन. कई सारे मोबाइल इनके आपस में पार्टनरशिप हुआ है कई एंटरटेनमेंट कंपनीज के साथ में, जैसे आई थिंक एयरटेल के साथ में है और 1-2 कंपनीज के साथ में और है. उनका एक स्पेसिफिक, इफ यू आर बाइंग ए स्पेसिफिक प्लान, यू आर गेटिंग अ 1 month ऑफ एक्सेस फ्री और समथिंग. या डिज्नी हॉटस्टार का भी सेम, सब कई सारे पार्टनरशिप है, कोलैबोरेशंस है. And then the kind of a customer relationship they have, like self service, आपको खुद से यूज करना है ना. तो ऑन डिमांड जो आपको शोज वगैरह देखना है उसको आप कर सकते हैं, परचेज भी कर सकते हैं. ईज ऑफ यूज है, यूज करना इजी. अब चैनल्स क्या क्या है, कैसे आप इस सर्विस को ले सकते हैं? तो कोई भी डिवाइस से ले सकते हैं, है ना. उनकी ब्राउजिंग में खोल के या नेटफ्लिक्स ऐप आप डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं. ऑनलाइन एडवर्टीजमेंट, एडवर्टाइजिंग वो करते हैं अपने चैनल्स के लिए, और सोशल मीडिया के थ्रू भी वो आप कांटेक्ट करने की कोशिश करते हैं. नाउ कस्टमर सेगमेंट्स, माइक्रो सेगमेंटेशन का देखो. अब इनका सेगमेंटेशन मैंने बोला था निश में भी बिल्कुल ही माइक्रो है, बिकॉज ये आपके जो आप अपने हैंडसेट पे, जो आप अपने डिवाइस पर जो मूवी देख रहे हैं, उसी मूवी को ये लोग सेगमेंट कर रहे हैं, है ना. उसी मूवी को ये लोग देखना चाह रहे हैं, राइट. So the kind of a movie that you are really looking to watch, they are really looking to go for that. So this is known as the micro segmentation. अब आपने एडवेंचर मूवी देखी, यानी वो आपके यूजर बिहेवियर को वो लोग रीड कर रहे हैं, जो कि आप स्क्रीन पे यूज कर रहे हो, टैबलेट पे यूज कर रहे हो, या लैपटॉप पे यूज कर रहे हो, या मोबाइल पे यूज कर रहे हो, है ना. आपने एडवेंचर मूवी देखी तो वो एडवेंचर मूवी आपको सजेस्ट कर रहा है. आप कोई रोमांटिक मूवी देखोगे तो रोमांटिक मूवी सजेस्ट करेगा, ना. डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ क्लस्टर वो लोग देख रहे हैं. यूज सेगमेंटेशन, किस तरह से, क्या आपका बिहेवियर पैटर्न है. सो बेसिकली नेटफ्लिक्स क्या करता है कस्टमर सेगमेंटेशन में, ये मैपिंग, मतलब ये क्या, इनका रिकमेंडेशन सिस्टम जो होता है, जो कि आप अगर फ्लिपकार्ट या अमेजन पे प्रोडक्ट भी लेते हो ना, यू आर बाइंग अ शर्ट एंड देन यू विल सी कि दे विल सजेस्ट यू 2-3 different kind of a pant or different kind of a suit or the other stuff. So this is known as the recommendation system or the collaborative filtering. So what it does, so it basically helps in providing the right kind of a algorithm, right. So यहाँ पर क्या होता है कि माइक्रो सेगमेंटेशन होता है, which can actually help in अंडरस्टैंडिंग द पर्सन, और उसके हिसाब से फिर जो आपका यूजर बिहेवियर होता है उसको वो रीड करने की कोशिश करता है, राइट. देन वी हैव different kind of a preference cluster use, which can be used in the different kind of clusters. Then we have use segmentation, that how the product can be used differently. और ज्योग्राफी के हिसाब से सेगमेंट्स बनते हैं या कंटेंट या लैंग्वेजेस के हिसाब से सेगमेंट बनता है, ठीक है। कॉस्ट स्ट्रक्चर कैन बी प्रोडक्शन रिलेटेड, रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट रिलेटेड, लाइसेंसिंग रिलेटेड, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर रिलेटेड, मार्केटिंग रिलेटेड, पेमेंट प्रोसेसिंग फीस और जनरल एडमिन रिलेटेड। रेवेन्यू स्ट्रीम्स है इनकी सब्सक्रिप्शन मॉडल है, प्रोडक्ट प्लेसमेंट है, डीवीडी रेंटल है और फ्यूचर मॉडल लाइसेंसिंग नेटफ्लिक्स ओन कंटेंट, राइट। अब माइक्रो सेगमेंटेशन में इफ यू सी you are watching, अब आपने 10 movies, अब what they do, they will map you with 50, 100 or maybe 250 people, those who are watching the same kind of a movie. The same thing happen in the YouTube also. So sometimes आपके पास कुछ recommendation आता है YouTube पे and you will be surprised कि यार ये why I am getting this kind of a recommendation. I have never watched any comedy movie and I do not like comedy movie, but I am getting a recommendation of comedy movie. So what does it mean? So it simply means ki, because the segmentation is such, so this the movies is the coming up, right? Because जो 50 के 100 लोग उन्होंने किए आपके साथ में, जिनका 80% बिहेवियर आपके जैसा है, उनमें से अगर 10 या 20 लोगों ने कॉमेडी मूवी देखा है, एक फिक्स परसेंटेज है, तो दैट इज ऑलरेडी सजेस्टेड टू यू. सो लुक एट योर सेगमेंटेशन, वो बिल्कुल एक यूजर के उनका अपना एल्गोरिथम है, सब ऑटोमेटेड है. They have their with the help of that they map it and then they come up with this micro segmentation. हर एक कस्टमर के लिए अलग अलग वो प्रोडक्ट दे रहे हैं, है ना. कुछ सेम है, फॉर एग्जांपल टॉप 10 इंडिया, टॉप 10 मूवी शोज, टॉप 10 थिएटर, फॉर एग्जांपल टॉप, और कुछ अलग अलग हैं. डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ इनके क्लस्टर यूजेस हैं, डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ यूज सेगमेंटेशन है, ज्योग्राफिकल बाउंड्रीज हैं, कंटेंट लैंग्वेजेस हैं, राइट. कॉस्ट स्ट्रक्चर भी उनका अलग अलग है. फॉर एग्जांपल प्रोडक्शन का कॉस्ट हो सकता है, R&D का उनका कॉस्ट रहेगा, लाइसेंसिंग रहेगा, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर रहेगा, मार्केटिंग रहेगा, पेमेंट प्रोसेसिंग फी रहेगी और जनरल एडमिन कॉस्ट रहेगी, राइट. देन दे कैन हैव देयर रेवेन्यू स्ट्रीम्स which is different. फॉर एग्जांपल इट कैन बी लाइक सब्सक्रिप्शन मॉडल, उनका क्या सब्सक्रिप्शन का रेवेन्यू मॉडल है ना. प्रोडक्ट प्लेसमेंट, डीवीडी रेंटल, जो कि पहले था अब नहीं है. Future model can be like licensing Netflix own content to Netflix. They are coming up with their own movies also, own shows also. So maybe they can, वो तो अभी Netflix पे ही launch हो रहा है, पर फ्यूचर में उसको भी वो लोग बाकी प्लेटफॉर्म्स पर भी शेयर कर सकते हैं या बेच सकते हैं. So it can be a future model also जहाँ से उनको पैसा बने. Right. So this is like a business model canvas for Netflix. Similarly, if you look for the business model canvas for let's talk about Uber or maybe Ola. Guys, just a minute, let me just connect it with. Okay, so now you can see here when we are talking about the business model of a taxi collaborator or let's say Ola or Uber. So how they are working, right? So for the next 2 minutes, just go through all the columns, the different columns, the different heads, and then we will discuss about it. Okay. So now, just a minute.
सर कोई
जी
प्रॉब्लम आ
सर,
गई या
बस am I audible ना? I hope I'm. Okay. So now, guys, as you can see, now we are talking about the business model of Uber or Ola. So here we can see that who are our key partners, key activities and key resources. So the payment processes, the different kind of a companies which provide the different map related services, and maybe the investors, those who are putting money into our business, right? So they are, the key partners, and the company is responsible to that. Their activities are like developing the platform, maintenance, marketing and advertisements, hiring drivers, operations. Resources which they have is the driver network, employees, brand, and the main thing is tech platform. Now look at here, which is the most important thing, value propositions, right? So the first thing, they have the platform to connect riders with drivers, something that you can use, and it's the easiest way around. You can go anywhere, anytime. It's a sort of a low cost luxury at a very minimal cost. Luxury is provided. Various levels of service is provided, and it's like earn money when you want. That means you can really earn money whenever you really look for it, right? So platform to connect riders with drivers, easiest way around, anywhere, anytime, low cost luxury, various levels of service, and earn money whenever you are really looking for. And when we are talking about the customer relationship here, so relationship in terms of the rating system, right? For example, you can rate the driver, and the driver can also rate the passengers, right? But the both can see their profile. So for example, you rate the passengers, rate the driver, and in the new booking, according to their ratings, the bookings are assigned them on that particular priority. And you can also see the driver's rating, and then you can decide whether to go with them or you need some other driver. Similarly, especially whenever you book outstation rides, maybe you are booking an outstation ride, or maybe at the night time, the drivers also look at your ratings, right? Because they also have to be very careful about their security and other stuff. So this is so they have basically they have two different sort of a customers. One is employees. Employees are the internal customers, right? Because and they are the partners also. When we're talking about the different kind of drivers, they are their partners, and they are also their internal customers because they have to satisfy them. And also then we have the end users like us, those who are the end customers. Channel which they are providing is the Uber app. Now the customer segments are, they have two segments which they have to deal with. One is riders, the people like us, those who need a ride, who want to travel from one place to another place, and for which we are booking the taxi or the other stuff. And then we have the drivers, the people who want to earn money while driving from one place to another place. Now, what are the different kind of a cost that they have to meet up with? One is the employee. Whatever the employee they have, those on the payroll, they have to pay for them. Driver payouts, drivers could be कई बार कई schemes में we see that we get a lot of discount from the Uber or Ola at times, and then the company has to pay the drivers to compensate the drivers for that. Legal fees for operating, across various domains. Obviously, the fee that is required for marketing and advertisements, the fee that is need for the tech platform cost, and revenue streams can be the money that a person can earn per kilometer or per mile, and maybe at times it is like a surge pricing. So surge pricing is means uh, when the in the event of you know uh, when uh, when in a difficult time, when the prices becomes too high, so it becomes the surge pricing, right? So prices ज्यादा रहती हैं आपका बारिश हो रही है या कुछ और ऐसा समय है, तो at the time the price will be high, and this is known as the surge pricing. So they have this algorithm for that, where they look for the weather conditions, whether they look for any kind of a strike or any kind of other sort of a stuff which can come in between. So now this business model canvas, if you see, it can clearly give you a picture of the all the things that is required, right? So this is our key partner. These are the key activities that we have to do. These are the key resources. This is the value proposition. This is the customer relationship, channels, revenue streams, or these are the customer segments that we have to get, and these are the cost structures. Now, what the company can do once they have the entire business canvas model in front of them, then obviously they can simply compare it with the other companies' business canvas models or other companies' capability or resources or partnership, and accordingly, then they can decide whether or what they have to do, or and what they don't have to do in that particular case, है ना? कैसे किस सेगमेंट को उनको मानना चाहिए, किसको नहीं मानना चाहिए, क्या रेवेन्यू स्ट्रीम्स होनी चाहिए, क्या की रिसोर्सेज होने चाहिए, क्या की एक्टिविटीज रहनी चाहिए, क्या वैल्यू प्रोपोजिशंस होने चाहिए, क्या कस्टमर रिलेशनशिप्स उनको मेंटेन करनी है. So this entire business model canvas can really present us the entire blueprint, and a business need to be very careful in each and every step. You first of all, you need to decide these two things. One is value proposition, one is your customer segment, and then on the basis of that, we need to look for the key activities, key resources, and then we have to look for our key partners, and then we have to see mapping with the competitors, whether on the basis of our partners, our resources, and on the basis of our activities, can we really achieve these value proposition? Can we really target the customers? Can we really met our goals, right? And can we really achieve the value propositions? A lot of companies has done it. They have done it wonderfully, right? If you take the case of some of the Chinese companies like Xiaomi and the other brands, they have penetrated the market like anything, and they were really able to get the very low price or low value product, right? So वो चीज है, customer segments भी हैं, customer relationship भी हैं, different kind of a cost structure is also there, different kind of a revenue streams is also there. So different kind of a things has happened and has been done over the period of time, right? So this is which we talk about the business model canvas which is there. So any questions, guys? That's all from my side. If you have any questions, you can ask.
Yes, student, if you have any question, please ask.
इसीलिए आना था कि ये बहुत सुंदर रेलवे स्टेशन है हडवाटी में, इसको मोदी जी ने कराया.
Do you have any question, dear students?
नहीं, हडवाटी से
Okay, so Dr. Yatish Joshi, sir.
Yes,
I
sir.
am Dr. Piyush Gupta
जी
from the Office of Design Innovation Center, BHU.
जी.
So it was really, we are grateful to have your session today, and we wish we will continue this relationship in future for further sessions in terms of entrepreneurship and business model development. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank you on the behalf of Ministry of Education, Innovation Cell, Institutions Innovation Council, BJ Banaras Hindu University, and thank you very much for sparing your valuable time from your schedule. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for the invitation, and I hope the lecture has some valuable inputs which the student may use it. Thank you so much. Namaskar. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, dear students, for participating in
Thank
this
you, sir.
session. Thank you very much.